beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that one could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. So they gave no second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. So they ain't no second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. I took a walk one street over from my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. So they ain't no second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known would have kept me from the one I love today.
Good morning. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah Laverne. This is One Street Over. Letting the guys sing us in. Ridgetop Ramblers, as always. Our little theme song. What's going on? One Street Over from where you living, y'all. This is a great opportunity for us just to keep up to date on all the things going on in Robertson County and the surrounding areas. And we appreciate you joining us here. And I'm so excited to have in studio with me my old friend, Judge Joe Perry. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I can say old friend. We're getting old, brother.
Okay,
We are getting old.
You're
Oh, I am too. I'm older than you. I don't know. I think.
62.
Okay, I'm right behind you. I'm 60. I'll be 61. I knew we were right there together. So, anyway, and you brought Kristy Chowning with you today. And go ahead and pull that microphone right to you, Kristy. And so excited. I thought we had met. I wasn't sure if we had met before when I walked in. It's just one of those things. You see people around town and stuff. And so, but it's we welcome you to the studio. Thank you so much for getting up early and coming in with us. Or is this early for you?
No, it's really not. I did not go to the gym this morning. Usually I go to the gym at 4:30 in the morning so I can.
She's one of those. She's one of those. All right. Now,
One of those.
yeah, I don't know if I've ever, well, I've always had to get up so early for radio because I'm not a morning person, but God's made me be, so, well, welcome. And I'm so excited about what we're talking about this morning because I think you mentioned this, if Donovan Hilton was still coming in. Donovan has taken a different job, and so he's not where he can come in. He used to come in once a month, and I think he's the one that mentioned to me that we were going to have the expungement clinic. You and I had talked about about it, and then y'all had gone to some different things together, and then I didn't realize that it had actually come to fruition. I mean, it's here, it's happening.
Right.
That's exciting. So fill me in. So when are we getting our expungement clinic? What's going on? And explain it to me. And Kristy, I understand you're bringing Kristy because she's the one who's been organizing this.
Kristy has done the lion's share of the work on this.
Okay.
And we're grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years back, well, it's been longer than that. Actually, when Bill Goodman and I came into office in 2014, we started talking about having an expungement clinic.
Okay.
They have them. They've been doing it over in Montgomery County for a good while. I know there's different places around the state. Judge Rachel Bell down in Nashville has one almost once a month. But we started talking about it at that time. You have to have cooperation or the willingness from the clerk's office to do that. So we started talking about it at that time. Greg and Pam Bell came to me with CARES, their organization, about doing one. A couple of years back, we started trying to put the pieces together. So Robert Gardner, Pastor Gardner from Greater Faith Church, and Donovan and the Bells and a couple other folks, we went down to visit Judge Bell's expungement clinic that she conducts at a community center in Nashville, and kind of see how that works. And when Kristy was running for clerk, we sat down and talked about it. We went to lunch one day, and I think you and Judge Goodman had talked about it some. And she told us that, when she got elected, that she'd be willing to do that. So we started doing the work. We all went together over to Montgomery County to see how they operate there. So this will be our first. Kristy has done all of this work, and we're on the doorstep of it. So we're excited.
Well, see, and that's the thing with her, because this is your second election. How long have you been county clerk?
This is my first election. Lisa retired early, and then I took office last April.
Oh, wow.
And then
I was
in
thinking
August, I had to run.
It just kind of spins around, and
does.
Kristy, she's our county court clerk, right?
Circuit.
I got circuit court clerk. I get the titles wrong, but she is an elected office as well, and just like, God, that's a hard thing, having to be elected for your job.
And she has to run every 4 years.
Yes.
At least I only have to wait. I get to wait 8 years.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. And boy, representatives every 2.
Goodness.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot. But anyway, I'm not dipping my toe back in that water. But I think that's how our paths cross, is probably election stuff. But nonetheless, being that you've got Kristy on board with this and she wants to be a part of this, that made all the difference in the world. So
that's how it happened. Yeah.
So explain to me. So let's talk about the details of it. You had some flowers. Oh, that's your notes. Let me see that one. You were handing me that one. Okay. So this, what people don't realize about expungement, this is something that is really kind of near and dear to my heart, because we ran a roofing company for 20 years, and dear sweet people that worked for us, and a lot of them would get caught up. Maybe they made some mistakes when they were young. They lost their driver's license. We've talked a lot about how I think what an amazing program it is where you help these guys get their driver's license back. But they would just keep coming into the court system because they would have these, charges that would come up, and I don't want to say they're not serious, because driving without a license is serious, or something, and they could not get their record cleaned up enough to where they could even get an apartment or get their license back, or they'd have so many fees, and it just all would pile on. And so that's why this is so important, is to give folks a chance to just really have a clean slate and start over, that have the potential, right?
That's what I had told Judge Perry. I said, I feel like that if we help these people, they will feel better about applying for these jobs and feel better about themselves and get better jobs and be more productive, in our community. And so that's kind of what we're going to try to do. We did reach our maximum limit for signups. This is our first one, so we did, and even Montgomery County kind of sets a limit for 50, because that's a lot of paperwork. But we did reach 50 people have signed up, and so we hope that they all show up on the 29th, and we're excited about it. And
Very good. I'm excited. I'm just getting a note from somebody that your mic's not working. That's lovely. Oh my goodness. So we're going to have to pass that mic. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, we'll figure out what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They're saying that they can't hear you. So I don't know. We're going to have to pass that mic back and forth, unfortunately, guys. I apologize. But we were talking with Judge Joel Perry, and he was talking about unpacking all the things and how this clinic came to be. And Kristy Chowning is here. She is, am I saying your last name right, Chowning?
that's it.
It's one of those you kind of go, you look at it, and people do me the same way. Perry's easy, but Vivio's another one. But this is something that has been on, I know, Judge Perry's heart, because we've talked about it. It's something that a lot of people in the community have been interested in, and I just am thrilled that it's coming up. So this one is full, but what is the hope as far as having one? What do you anticipate? Do you already have on the calendar the next one? Are people already signing up for the next one? If we know somebody that's going to, hand it back to Kristy there.
We haven't set another date yet. We're trying since this is the first one. We're trying to get all the little kinks out, but
Okay.
we will probably average at least 2 a year, maybe one in the summer, and then
Okay.
maybe another one in the spring, or somewhere.
Sure.
Trying to figure out the best time for people, and I think our bar is very excited about it, and some of our attorneys are going to volunteer that
I
day
think
to
that's
help
wonderful.
us. So
I mean, it's coming up quick. How many did you say you had come into this?
we have 50.
Oh, that's awesome.
We
That's
had
awesome.
that was our maximum cutoff.
Yeah.
And for a smaller, even Montgomery County has pretty much that as well. So this being our first one, we thought we better follow suit and kind of have a limit. But we were excited that it did fill up, and here we're checking records, and we're going to be ready to go. And then we have phone numbers, so if we're going to try to call and give them reminders, if we don't
Sure.
see them within the first hour or so, because, people do forget. But we're
Yeah.
excited to offer this, and I feel like we'll probably at least do it twice a year.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's so wonderful. Do you need any volunteers to help with this, or have y'all got it all covered? I mean, do you need anything specifically from the community to make this happen, this upcoming event? Because I see that it's happening at the City of Faith Church. So is there volunteers involved in this?
Of course, Mr. Gardner, Pastor
Yeah.
Gardner, and then Legal Aid Society, Savannah. She is really a huge help. She's the one that set up the QR code for us and things like that. The Justice Bus from the Administrative Office of the Courts is going to be there to answer maybe other questions people may have. Because when this expungement, we can only expunge dismissals and like pretrial and post-trial diversions. So there's other things out there that people may need help with. So the Justice Bus will be available to answer questions.
What is the Justice Bus? That is interesting.
That is, I think they try to give some legal advice where we as clerks and deputies can't give legal advice. They will be able to do a little bit more of that. This is the first time I've been around the Justice Bus from the Administrative Office of the Courts. They volunteered to come. It was where they try to attend several clinics, from what I understand. So that's going to be new to us, and I don't think the Justice Bus has been in Montgomery County. So it's kind of a new thing. So we're excited that they're going to be here.
It's an initiative.
Go ahead, start over, Judge.
It's an initiative that was started by the Tennessee Supreme Court several years back, and it's for that purpose, to give legal advice to folks that need it around the state. So it's an actual bus that's painted up or wrapped, and you have folks there, attorneys, other folks from the AOC that can give legal advice, because like Kristy said, we, as a judge, I can't give legal advice. I have people all the time in court. Well, what should I do, Judge? I said, well, I can't tell you because I'm the judge. But it's kind of like legal aid.
Okay.
And they travel around the state and try to have a presence on behalf of the state Supreme Court. But like Kristy said, Legal Aid of Middle Tennessee has been active in a lot of these. There's attorneys, local attorneys that want to be involved, and they're going to sort of meet beforehand to talk about how the process works for the participants, and so the paperwork can get done before they bring it to the judge to review the expungement. So a lot of parts, and then there's probably going to be some agencies, local agencies that will be there. When we went to visit Davidson County a couple of years ago, they have it at a community center in Nashville, and then they have different local agencies that are there, and they set up a table. And so if you need help with food assistance or other types of assistance, it's a place where you can get information about that. So it's a nice thing to help, be able to help folks out.
I just think it's going to be exciting because this is going to be it truly is going to be a fresh start for so many. And because we all know knuckleheads that as you have coined the phrase, I use that in school too. I talk about, we all have a few knuckleheads that we have to deal with. You love them to pieces, but you're just like,
if you can, if you can get them past that knucklehead stage, then, oftentimes they will do well. But we limited it to 50 on this first one, learned from Judge Bell. When they first started out, they didn't have a limit on it, and they had them down the street and around the block. So we're starting off, small. We may add some. We'll kind of look and see what the need is. But if we could do this a couple of times a year, we'd be tickled.
I've got 4 boys. Mine have had knucklehead moments. One of the funniest stories that I tell. Oh, my youngest son, who is not doesn't get into trouble. He's just a great guy. And he forgot about a ticket. He got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. And he was coming out of the grocery store. This is up in Cookeville. And when he was in college up there, he was coming out of the grocery store, and there was a police officer, and he goes, "Is this your car?" And they go, "Yes." They arrested him because I'm not kidding.
On a seatbelt.
Yes. And so, he had to get that cleaned up. It was insane. And it was when his brother was in Afghanistan, and we get this bizarre phone call, like really odd hour, because he had gone, late at night, and because it was from the jail,
right.
And they always told us when you've got somebody deployed, if you see an unusual number, answer it, because it could be something important. And so we just and it was not the kid we expected to hear from. It was just bizarre. It was just bizarre. And okay, I just got to finish telling this. They took, and he's like 6'9", okay? They couldn't fit him in the back seat, and so they laid him down in the back seat of the patrol car, handcuffed, took him and booked him over a seatbelt. I'm not kidding.
I bet he wears a seatbelt now.
Oh, yeah. And again, that was in Cookeville. It was not around here. It was ridiculous, but oh my gosh. But that's the kind of thing that can happen that, because he has to have security clearance and all that kind of thing now. He had to clean all that nonsense up.
Right.
And so it would have been nice if he'd had an opportunity like this. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about, guys.
Well, Judge Goodman tells a story about one that he had over in Montgomery County, a lady that was going to nursing school. Mm-hmm. And in order to get her nursing license, she had old stuff that had to be straightened out. They were old charges, but had never been expunged. So, you might have a charge dismissed in court, but until you get it expunged, that paperwork is still out there, and it can still show up on a criminal background check. Mm-hmm. So this is an opportunity to get some of those things gone. And this lady needed it in order to get her nursing license and be a productive citizen. And he was happy to do it, and that's what we're trying to do with this clinic.
It's amazing. It's a great opportunity, and we're going to pause and take a break real quick. But we're talking with Judge Joel Perry, and we're talking with our circuit court clerk, Kristy Chowning, and we just appreciate y'all so much coming in and explaining to us this expungement clinic. Very excited to have this start up here in Robertson County. The first one's coming up on July 29th, and we'll give you all the information on how you can get more information if you need to know more about that. But let's do pause and take a moment to talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardens. Gardening Center. Our friends out in if you're looking for anything to do with your garden, if you're something we've talked a lot about, a lot of us lost stuff because of the polar vortex that came in and just froze everything. And we've got holes in our yard and places where shrubs that we've had forever are missing. And you think, what can I do with that? Well, go and talk to Amy, and she'll point you to some beautiful plants that maybe are annuals or sometimes perennials that will grow and be beautiful while you're waiting for those shrubberies to come back and the things that you need to replace in your yard. Or if you just need a great gift for somebody, go by and get one of the beautiful hanging baskets. Don't forget too that they'll be at the farmers market. They're there every single Saturday. They have their beautiful flowered wagon that they come out with, and all kinds of other handcrafted items. They've got their CBD products, of course, that are Robertson County. They are Robertson County CBD produced from Robertson County plants grown right here. They're at 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield. If you've got questions for them, maybe you want some fresh produce. They have a produce garden as well, and they sell fresh produce throughout the summer. You can just call them and say, hey, what you got growing right now? And she'll fix an order up for you, have it ready for you when you get there. You can call 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185, and when you talk with them, please let them know that U-Turn sent you. And continuing on with any questions you might have about the expungement clinic, talking with Judge Doyle Perry and Circuit Court Clerk Kristy, a mouthful, Kristy Chowning. And what are we missing here? Any details that we need to share that we haven't covered specifically about the expungement clinic? Anything else y'all want to talk about? Hand it back over to Kristy. I'm going to play with this microphone so I can fix it.
I don't really have anything else to really add because closing was on June 23rd, so we have reached our limit. But just be on the watch for the next upcoming one. I do post it on my website, which is on the Robertson County page and has individuals under a circuit court clerk. It will be posted there. We always try to get it, of course, on Facebook, share it there, and then throughout our local bar. So just be watching for the next one. But in between those times, if you have questions or want to come by and get a form, you're always welcome to come to our office, and either in General Sessions office or Circuit Court Clerk's office on Main Street, and we can get you the forms and give you a little bit more information about it, because some of them do require a little bit more work than the one we're doing right now, but it's still, that's an option still out there.
Well, and something too, you can get this done through an attorney as well, can't you? If maybe you can't wait for an expungement clinic, and that's the expungement can be done pretty much any time,
right?
But you have to do it with the assistance of an attorney, and this is to help people who can't take on the financial burden of hiring an attorney, right?
You don't have to have an attorney to do an expungement. There's paperwork at the clerk's office that can be done. It's just having a clinic sort of creates community awareness that this is the time that we can do, and the clinic is done outside of the regular courtroom. A lot of people are they've not had great experiences in the courtroom, so they're a little hesitant to come to the court. So you do it offsite at a place that is not as threatening as being in court. And that's why we're grateful to Pastor Gardner and Ms. Peggy for allowing us to do it there at the church and open the doors there.
I think you need to go to that other mic. I'm still not thinking it's picking up like it needs to. Your voice is carrying into the other mic, so I don't know what's happening to our second mic there. Let's go ahead, but we're hearing you, but just kind of the room sound.
Okay,
so.
but yeah, having it at an off-site location and doing it on a Saturday when it's convenient for people. But that takes a lot of work for the clerk's office to do it at a place that's not right there at their office where they have all that stuff together. So it takes some work, and that's why we're appreciative for Kristy being willing to step up, because it's they're the one, we get to show up and sign papers as judges. She's doing all the heavy lifting, so we appreciate that.
Well, very much so. And so as we continue on with this, I do, as we kind of talk about this, what is involved from your office perspective? I mean, for each individual person, is a lot of paperwork?
It is a lot of paperwork. We first start by running the record to see what
Yeah.
we can expunge. Then we'll make their individual files and get their paperwork in there. And then once it's over, then that requires us to get it all entered into the system and sent to the TBI and then wait for your confirmations. But it's a lot of data entry on after we get through with it. On the front end, it's a lot of just double checking and getting the records available and providing the forms. And the attorneys will be there to help them fill out the forms in case they don't understand.
Right.
So, but just lots of paperwork and then a lot of data entry. But, we will get there.
What's the timeline on it? So if somebody comes in and say they're listening and they're hearing about this, they're okay, I'm going to the expungement clinic. What is a kind of a reasonable timeline when they can expect this to be done to where if they go and check their record, it is actually clear?
We're hoping in the next, we will start working on it in between, court. And so we're hoping, in a couple of weeks, we would have everything entered.
Awesome.
So we're going to try to make it a pretty quick turnaround.
Okay.
So
that's good news.
Get that in there. But of course, the TBI, we can't control how quick they work. But we will get that information to them as soon as possible.
I love it. So this is a good program, and we just appreciate all the work that you guys do, just to make the legal system here not so intimidating, and these are nice folks, guys. You don't have to be afraid of them. You can go and talk to them, and very reasonable, and really. I get the feel from both of you guys, man, we just really we just want you to live a good life, and we want to do everything we can to help you on that path. And, it's like, that's what it's about.
And a lot of them do. They want to do better, but they just need that little extra push and help. And I think having it in a more relaxed setting will help them. That intimidation of being in the courtroom or in the courthouse sometimes, this will take it away. So we're thankful for Pastor Gardner for allowing that. So.
I think so too. It's a wonderful thing. So this is the first expungement clinic. We're so excited that this is starting up here in Robertson County. This has been something that's been on everybody's mind for a while now. And really at the end of your last term, you were talking about it and hopeful that everything would transpire. You would get somebody in the clerk's office that would be like, yes, we can do this. So that's just good news. How do you guys work? I mean, how does the whole thing work together as far as what y'all work together daily? Are y'all in court together, or how does all that work? I'm just kind of curious. Do you want to speak to that? Do y'all see each other every day, or?
No, he's more on the phone or text because I have circuit court and I have two offices in two buildings. So general sessions, they say pretty busy all the time. It's a lot of volume. And so I try to get over there at least once a day and check on my staff and see how, make sure everything's going good, make sure, things like that. And then usually I'm in court most of the time at the courthouse on Main Street. So we have civil and criminal there pretty much every day.
Okay. That's the thing I think for those of us who've not worked inside there, you're general sessions, right? Okay. So trying to get what's the difference? What's the difference really? I mean, yours is, because it's like, so y'all never really, y'all hear completely different cases, or, so help me out, Judge. Help me out, Judge. Because seriously, you just hear court and you think it's all the same.
General Sessions Court is high volume court. It's a court that has jurisdiction over misdemeanor cases.
Okay.
So I can hear anything that is punishable by up to 11 months and 29 days in jail.
Okay.
So A, B's, and C misdemeanors. I also conduct preliminary hearings on felony cases. Also have civil jurisdiction over disputes that are less than $25,000. Okay. Circuit court is where trials get conducted. If you want a jury trial and it's a serious crime, those get conducted up in circuit court. So if they're charged with a warrant, it'll pass through my court up to circuit court. Then some cases get charged by an indictment where the grand jury meets, and then the case goes to circuit court. So we have high volume cases. We'll have a docket that'll have, 100, during the course of a day, maybe a couple hundred cases that have to
Wow.
something somehow has to be disposed of.
Okay.
And Kristy's office, like she said, she's over both courts. She has a group of ladies that are the clerks in general sessions that take care of all those. Also, trooper cases. She has some that are dedicated to doing trooper. She also has, because we have a juvenile court, I'm actually also the juvenile court judge, but the 99% of that is heard by juvenile magistrate Melanie Stark. But she has clerks that have to handle that paperwork.
Okay.
So it's, like she says, a lot
Wow.
of paperwork, a lot of data entry. But
Wow.
and usually I'm not in court on Friday unless something specially set. And that's when I have an opportunity to call her, but she is usually in court in circuit court. So it's like, we text, we call when there's something needed. But she's got a lot of great folks that work for her, and which makes her life easy, just like I've got a lot of good people that work for me that makes mine. So
How many people do you have that work with you? Then I'm going to ask you the same question, so be thinking about it.
Between what I've learned is that I'm also the only general sessions judge in the state that's also a county department head. So between juvenile staff and judicial commissioners, it's somewhere between 18 and 19 judicial commissioners that those move from time to time, but it was like 18 or 19
Recovery court
employees.
come under that?
Recovery court comes
under that? Okay.
under that too,
Okay.
and we've got things going on there. We can come back and talk about another
Oh, I
day.
know,
So we're
I
gonna
know,
have
absolutely, yeah.
another employee starting there. But yeah, it's but I've got Donna Adcock, who's
Mm-hmm.
been my administrative assistant for years, worked for me at the DA's office. She keeps it all running. So
Very good. Okay, so Kristy, question to you too. So how many folks do you have working with you?
I have 17 full-time
Okay.
employees.
Wow. That's a lot.
It does, but with that many courts, you've got
You have to.
You have to.
You have to.
Sometimes
I
we
mean,
feel like we need another extra. Well, especially in summer when vacations.
Yeah.
But I do have a great group, and like I said, I think the world of Donna. We all work well together, and that's what it does take. It
Mm-hmm.
takes everybody working together because there's so many moving parts in a day.
Yes.
So,
For sure. Well, and I appreciate so much. I thank y'all for coming in and giving us an update on the expungement clinic. And this one is full. We just kind of want to reiterate that, but there'll be another one. So you just need to inquire. And if it's something you need immediately, you can do all this through an attorney. I mean, you can. And I think that's what my kid did, to get his all straightened out, his little seatbelt infraction, silliness. But nonetheless, that's the kind of thing that can really mess you up when it comes to background checks and those kinds of things, and you need to get it cleaned up, and this is a great way to do it. How can they get in touch with all you guys if they have questions about a future clinic?
well, they can actually just be watching, like I said, the website, the county website, and then
Okay.
they just go toward my office. But they can come by our office. We're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, either in general sessions or the circuit court clerk's office on Main Street.
Okay.
Both offices, we have all the forms available and can give them more information. Or they
Awesome.
can call our office.
Okay.
Either way.
Awesome. Very much. Thank you so much, guys. And sorry for the mic situation. Have no idea what happened. It's things happen from one day to the next. And it's like, it doesn't work now. Thank y'all so much for adapting to that. God bless you.
right.
Good to see you. And I'll see you again, Judge. Judge. God bless y'all. Thank you. And sorry to mess up your workout today, Kristy. But anyway, all right. Thank you so much for joining us here for One Street Over. And we're going to continue on with the program as we let Brian and Tiffany make their way in. And oh my gosh, it's been a minute since I've gotten to talk to Brian and Tiffany, so it's going to be fun. Kind of like a little reunion here because we haven't talked to each other in a few weeks. But we do want to pause and take a moment to talk about some of our sponsors. Let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. These are my friends in real estate, you guys. They are, of course, Robertson Countyans. They live up in Cross Plains. They've been there 27 plus years, and they are just great friends to One Street Over and everything Robertson County. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Barry is a marketer, came out of a marketing background, vice president of marketing. That mic's not working. You can pull that one over. We're going to have to share mics. I'll turn it on, but so y'all are going to have to go back and forth. Hi, guys. I got finished my commercial. Anyway, I've missed these guys. But we want you to go and check out Barry and Rebecca Richards. If you want some great pictures and videography of your property and make sure people see it in the best light, Barry's your guy. He is a Zillow certified photographer, licensed industry drone pilot, does a 360-degree virtual reality home tour. We'll get you up on realtor.com, all the things. And she's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. So she will cross every T and dot every I and make sure that when you come to the table, whether you're buying or selling, you are ready to go. Contact them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, or give Becky a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and let them know U-Turn sent you. All right, guys, one mic, I know, but welcome. I'm so glad to have you guys back. My goodness, I feel like I haven't seen y'all in forever.
It's been a while.
I know.
For sure. So I'm gonna have to get cozy with
Are
you.
y'all having y'all work together? There they go. Have y'all having a good summer?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep. Good.
Us too. Kids good?
Kids are thriving.
Absolutely.
Doing well. All my boys are at camp this week, and so it's just us and the girls. It
Oh,
feels
my.
so different. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
We're talking with Tiffany Thomson and Brian Pulley from United Way, one of our regulars in here. And and they've been off and on. They've been taking some vacation time. I just got back from Mexico. I'm going to be gone next week. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at your little schedule. Brian sent me his little schedule.
Our schedule.
yeah,
Tiffany
yes.
and I's both schedules.
Yes,
Summer.
and
Summers are weird with activities and
Yeah.
time away, and we've got a lot of good stuff with United Way. We're doing this summer too. So.
well, talk to me about some of the things that are going on.
Well, real quick, we're working on right now our stuff. I know there's a stuff the bus here that the schools are putting on at Walmart.
Yes.
But we do one for all of our footprint here in Middle Tennessee, and Tiffany can talk a little bit more about that too. But we're working right now with our corporate partners to get the actual supplies donated. So that's what we're working on right now. I think we have a goal of like 16,000. Does that sound right?
There's a lot.
Of backpacks. Those are backpacks.
16,000 backpacks.
Yeah, they were fully
Okay.
ready to go for a kiddo walking out the door for the first day of school. And so I think we're at about 7,000 right now, which is trending good. That's a little ahead of where we were last year. And so that's our big focus right now is getting that together. We will be distributing those through an event here in Robertson County for the Robertson County schools, which I'll let Tiffany share. But from my end right now, I'm working with our corporate partners to get the supplies raised, create awareness, also get them their backpacks, get them everything that they need to do what they need to do. So that's where we're at right now. But she can talk more about the distribution.
So, yeah, because y'all have not had an in-person, go ahead and pull that microphone over to you, Tiffany, but y'all haven't had an actual in-person event to distribute those, right? Because y'all had been...
No, last year I think we distributed them through, like we dropped them off at the school district.
That's what I thought.
Brian did. That was the week before I started. So.
Is it the back to school bash kind of thing, or is there some kind of a back to school?
So what
event
this
that they're gonna
year?
come through?
Yeah, we're distributing through the nonprofit Chosen. I don't know if you've had Clarissa Gardner to come and talk on your show to talk about that, but she has a nonprofit where she especially reaches out to some of our most vulnerable kids, making sure that they get the same opportunities some of our wealthier families get. You know, our wealthier families can go and get their kid a private SAT tutor, and that makes all the difference whether or not you're going to get in school or not. In fact, even Tennessee Promise, you have to have a certain, SAT score to be able to get Tennessee Promise.
Yeah.
And so some of these kids don't have that same advantage of having a tutor or having extra help and stuff like that. So her focus of her nonprofit is to give all kids the same advantage, to really help bring those that are disadvantaged through poverty or whatever else, to help bring them up to the same level. And so she has a back to school bash that we actually did have a booth at last year, but that's not where we distribute our backpacks. So this year we've partnered with them with our backpack distribution, and we're going to be distributing the backpacks at her event, which is going to be awesome. It's on July 29th. There's going to be a lot of different vendors. I think they've partnered with Social Dweebs to help out with that, and so it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be at the center, and they are still looking for some sponsors. So if anybody listening to this has a business, they want to be a sponsor, they want to get their name out there in front of a lot of people. A lot of the other sponsors and stuff. So it's just going to be a great time. And there's a sponsor package. So if you're like their top sponsor, you get an interview on Social Dweebs, and you get all sorts of things. And so reach out to Clarissa Gardner, or you can get in contact with me and I can get you in contact with Clarissa Gardner. So again, my email address is tiffany.thompson, forget the P, at unitedwaygn.org, or you can call me at 615-780-2511, and I can help get you connected with that. Or if you want to if you want to drop stuff off for a backpack or make a donation for a backpack, get a hold of me that way too, or stop by. The office hours are a little crazy in the summer because we're in and out, and sometimes we're working from home because of childcare situations and whatnot. So, if you want to drop something by the office, you might want to check first to make sure somebody's there, because we're not there as much during the summer months. But so that's what's going on with that.
Very good. And I just, as far as the things that y'all have coming up too, you've got a laundry love hitting pretty soon too. Is that next week?
Yes, we do. No, we've done it for June.
Okay.
It'll be the third week in July. I think
Third week in July.
21st.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I've got when you travel, you just really can't get your head back in the game. I'm like, I don't know what day it is.
No,
but,
absolutely. Yeah. So we did about 937 loads, I think, last month, and it felt like a slow month. So that tells you how many loads we have been hitting. But yeah, we're looking for donation always, and always looking for hands to help. So, but that will be
that'll be the third Friday
Friday.
in July. I'm gonna try to come.
That would be great.
I'm gonna try. I was at the laundromat yesterday washing I have my big bedspreads that I go in there and wash because they got those big giant ones,
Right.
and it's so wonderful. But I mean, it's like $10.50 to turn on that big washer.
Yep.
And I can't imagine, I don't know, I just kind of forgot they had those big industrial. I was trying to wash them in my little,
Right.
And when I went in there, just looking at the cost of a laundromat, I'm like, if you couldn't afford a washing machine, how in the world do you afford to feed those things? That's expensive.
Exactly.
And I can't imagine, like you said many times, some people have to choose between buying what they need for food items or washing their clothes, and just I wash my clothes constantly. I can't imagine not being able to wash your clothes when you desire to do that. If something gets a little, I'm like, I got a little something on this, I'm going to wash it. You don't do that when you don't have that as an option.
One of the saddest things for me was we got a load of clothes once from a mom whose kid had been sick, and it had some vomit on it. And I just could not imagine having had my kids throw up on something and not being able just to check it right into the washing machine.
Yes.
And that was what really hit me the hardest as a mom who has cleaned up a lot of sickness over the years. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, I cannot imagine how difficult that would have been. Yeah. And the humility it took for that mom to bring it in and ask somebody else to clean it was just beyond me. So, it's amazing. And a lot of people are like, well, how do they go all month without washing their clothes? I'm like, because they don't
have a choice.
They don't have a choice. And so they do wear the same clothes over and over and over and over again. And some of those people have, multiple changes of clothes, and some don't. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't say those people, our friends. Yeah, but they are people that we love, and we sit there and chat with people when they drop off their clothes. They're amazing people who are working really hard at trying to maintain dignity that they deserve. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we love the program. In fact, that same situation is what happened to my friend in Williamson County. She went to go wash her bedspread and was blown away at how much it cost her to turn on the machine. And then she said, how are our families that we serve doing this? I'm like, they're not. That's the whole point. She's like, we're starting a laundry love. So Williamson County is getting their first laundry love.
That's awesome.
So they partnered. Laundry Love is a national organization, and they partner with Earth Breeze soap sheets. I don't know if you've used those. They're like, instead of laundry detergent that's liquid, they're sheets that you put in your washer.
Never seen them.
They're awesome, and they actually are very healthy for the environment, healthy for you. In fact, I read an article today about like the 5 best laundry detergents to avoid getting cancer, and Earth Breeze was on there. So Earth Breeze donates all the soap for the Laundry Love program nationwide.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why it's another really good organization to support, or a good company to support. But so Laundry Love is a national program. We're not the only ones that do it. It's all over the country. And so now they have one in Williamson County. So
I love it. That's wonderful. And it's just, there's so many, the big thing is, guys, United United Way can connect you with the nonprofits in Robertson County. So this summer, you've got a little bit of time off and you're thinking, man, I really need to volunteer. I need to get more involved. Where can I get involved? Contact them and they'll help you. And I just want to ask for forgiveness too on this raise your hand thing. I tried to get involved with that and I just ran out of time, and I want to find out from, what is the woman's name that came in with raise your hand?
Dr. K?
Yeah, I want to find out from them, can I go ahead and go through the process of getting approved so the next time they have it, I'm ready to go? Because you have to go through, even though I'm a teacher and I've already gone through a background check, you have to go through one through raise your hand. And I just ran out of time because of Mexico and all that. And honestly, summer school it came up on us so quick. Today's the last day of summer school. It's already over. And so it just went too fast. And so I want to be ready, because that's something I didn't have a lot of time, but I had a couple of days, if I'd already had the background check, that I could have helped. Yeah. And so I want to be ready for that. So my question to Dr. K and raise your hand is, can I go ahead and go through the process and get ready so the next time one of those opportunities comes up, I'm ready to go?
My best guess, no, we'll have to weigh in with Dr. K, but my best guess is yes, because I know that they are going to have a booth at the Freedom Festival this weekend.
Wonderful.
And so they're going to start
good.
their heavy recruiting for the next school year. So
Good.
obviously
Good.
there's not a lot of volunteer opportunities in July for that, but there will be as soon as the next school year starts. And
Okay.
So
And
that'll be an opportunity.
And that's the thing we talked with Dr. K about is, if I had already been approved, I could have gone just the few days I had. I could have gone today, this morning, because I didn't have anything going. And so you can work it around your schedule, but you do have to, all those things, you got to go through these background checks, and you have to get those things done. So if you can get those things done ahead of time, so you're ready whenever they have a need. So we'll get her back in and talk about that for the next school year, I think, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she'd love
So, well, I'll do a break. Anything else you need to talk about before we hand the mic off to?
Let Brian have a turn, sure.
Well, I tell you what, you take the microphone and let's talk about Cumberland Connect. I love it when you help me with my ad, because Tiffany can't speak to this because she's not a Cumberland Electric customer. That is the big stipulation. You got to be a Cumberland Elect customer. And have you been in since I talked about we're wanting to get an extender? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have one.
Well, see, and here's the thing. Mm-hmm. So Josh comes out to my house. I put in for an extender, and we have this one window where we could put an extender, and I think it would probably help in the outbuilding situation. But he goes, it won't cost you any more if you just run a conduit and I'll pull the line. It'll cost you exactly the same, and then you'll be hardwired to your barn. Wow. And you could do 2 extenders and be hardwired to both of your outbuildings. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're going to do. Okay. And we just haven't run the conduit yet. We can run the conduit, and then they'll run the line. It's not going to cost us anything more, just the extra $5 a month. Mm-hmm. For them to have for us to have the extender.
That's
it's
great.
awesome.
Have you had great? I've had we had. I'll tell you, we had the first piece of equipment we got. I've worked in electronics and stuff long enough to know it was just not a great piece of equipment, and we were having some problems. I said, I think it's just a bad box. They changed the box out. It's been great for months now, and they were really good with their customers. So I use it more as a testament to their customer service.
Yeah.
They were on top of it. Guy came out the next morning, replaced it, checked everything. We've been good since. Our house is kind of set up where we got a bonus room upstairs, and that's where my wife has her office, and she works from home. And so we wanted to set up everything there so she'd have the best connection, because her stuff is takes up a lot of our bandwidth. Sure. And then all the other stuff in the back of the house was you couldn't get anything back there because of where it was sitting. Since we put the extender in, it's just it's the same everywhere. It's really good. So
that's what Josh was telling me. And when he came out, he had no idea that I do commercials for them. He was just so nice and kind. And they didn't even charge me for that visit, even though they could have. Mm-hmm. They could have, because I submitted to it. And he said, no, we're just going to count this as a property survey or a system survey or something like that. Didn't charge me, but we're just waiting to get the conduit ran to where we can run it ourselves, and we'll have it hardwired in our outbuildings. It's crazy.
You won't be able to beat that. My folks kind of have that, the way theirs is set up, and they have a building behind their house, and that's where we hang out a lot, especially in the summer, because kids can go to the pool and get wet, and it does fine. And their internet is just as fast up there as it is.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
If you're a Cumberland Electric customer, guys, this is what we're talking about. You can join the gig club, just like Brian and I, even though my children say it's like filling your bathtub with a fire hose. You don't need a gig, but why not? It's $80. I was paying $65 for a 3.5 upload speed from AT&T. I'm so sorry, guys. You just weren't helping me.
You literally came out of the Stone Ages.
Oh, I did.
You did. You were just right into 2023, right?
It's like I'm part of the new age now. And this is a utility. So they have an affordable connectivity program that provides qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. If you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. You can't beat that, guys. Check them out today. Go to cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org, or call them at 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. Tell them that U-Turn and Brian said call them, and thank you for sponsoring One Street Over. All right, continuing on with our time today. What else you got for me?
Tiffany was doing so well. I was enjoying that thoroughly. Like she was laying that out so well. I will want to circle back to what you were talking about with the volunteer opportunities, and that is, I mean, one of the things we really strive hard is to create opportunities for not just our corporate partners, which is who I work with, and we've got some good news on that will be coming soon. I think we're even going to be able to expand further our volunteer opportunities for companies in particular and individuals, but it's really going to help the companies, and so we'll share that when I can share it, but it's going to be a good thing for everybody. But there are so many opportunities right here in this community. You think, well, it's a small town, whatever, to get involved if you really want to. And we were talking about Laundry Love, which is a great volunteer opportunity. But if you're concerned about our young people and you're saying, well, what's going on with our young people, blah, blah, blah. There are so many opportunities. Raise Your Hand is one of many, and obviously we support and promote that. But there are so many opportunities to get involved and use your skill set to do that. And so we would just, if you've thought about it and you're like, well, I don't know what I have to offer, contact us, and we can try to place you somewhere or talk you through it. And it may not be here, maybe another place close or whatever, if you got something very specific that you want to offer young people or people in general, but please take advantage of that. So if you want to complain, then let's help a little bit. There's ways you can help, and I'm not trying to lecture, but there's so many opportunities. It sounds like
I was just gonna say along with that lines, a new drum we're gonna start beating a little bit more as big brothers, big sisters. Okay. We really need mentors for these kids. Like, it's great to have great supportive mom and dad. I feel like my kids have really parents that are invested in them. They need other people that are also invested in them. They need more than just mom and dad. So, but then you have kids that don't have parents that can be invested for whatever reason. And then they even have a bigger need. And so that's another way. One thing I cannot do, I have Tennessee Promise Hours are due like in a couple days, and I'm getting phone calls daily now. So I'm like, that is, if you need your Tennessee Promise Hours, please do not wait till the day before. There is no way. I mean, this is my biggest thing. Please, if you are in need of help in any way, please give me as much time to help you out as possible. I had somebody call me yesterday and say, I'm going to be homeless. What can I do? And I said, okay, well, let's look at this. Part of the problem is right now, like, you're in the same situation as a lot of people, so resources are really thin. And he just yelled at me and was like, fine, I'm going to be homeless. Thanks a lot, and hung up on me. And I was like, oh, wow. I cannot give you a house today. I cannot give you hours today. So please, please contact me as much time as possible. If you know you can't pay next month's rent, please let's start talking now so that I can connect you to resources. United Way does not have resources in our office. You can't come and get a check for your rent in the office. We connect you with other agencies that do that. And so that takes time. Mm-hmm. And so, but I think a lot of people, we get scared when all of a sudden we can't pay our rent or we can't pay our light bill. And we just kind of hold on, hoping that something will figure it out. If you know that next month is going to be bad, give us as much time as possible to help connect you to the right resources, because we can't do it tomorrow, never. So anyway, I just want to kind of put that out there for anybody listening. I know it's hard to reach out when you're scared of what's in the future, but do it now instead of last minute, because then we have more possibility.
I know, and I love how you said that, because we run into that all the time at the church with our benevolence program, that it's only in that urgent last minute, I'm going to be homeless tomorrow, that you get it. And it's like, you got to see this stuff coming, and you do. And I can, people just, this is, I'm a very proactive person, and that annoys some people. It's like, well, you're just borrowing trouble. No, I'm trying to get in front of something, because I can see down the road, this is going to be an issue. Let's get in front of this and let's deal with this. And so I'm very proactive, and that's one of the hardest things is seeing there's a lot. Most people aren't. Most people really aren't. They just hope it'll work out, and that just is. It really puts you. That's how you end up on the street. I mean, that's how you end up with these situations. You're like, how in the world did this happen? Well, you weren't planning ahead, and you got to. You've got to. And I don't know anything. want to add to that? Go ahead, Brian. You look like you got something burning.
She mentioned Big Brothers. I think we could probably devote one of these to just that program because it's near and dear to my heart. I've been a big since for 14 years now. I still can say, even though he's just turned 23. But I've seen that program and obviously met a lot of other bigs through that program and seen the impact it can make. And it is literally the best thing I've ever done in my life as far as like something that I decided to do, and the blessings that came with that, and gaining a brother, literally. I have a brother now, and that aside from my other brother that is actually my brother, but my little brother. So, but just to watch him grow up and watch how he's matured, and I wanted to wring his neck about 1 million times, but that's part of just like having kids, man, or any family members, but to see him thriving now is just amazing. But it sounds like a daunting task. Like when you sign up for that, the time commitment is very manageable. And after a while, it's not a time commitment. It's just part of your life.
Yeah.
They're just part of your life, and they're part of your family.
Yeah.
And you're part of their family. And so I can't recommend that program enough. And we need to bring them in and just like literally talk about that program. Because I think so schools are great and reading is great, and that is so important. But to pour into a young person's life in a different way like that, as far as showing them some experiences they wouldn't get to experience otherwise. He went to church with me. You know what I mean? No, he came from a faithful family, but to see another side. I mean, the list goes on and on, just to expose them to different experiences in this world that they wouldn't have had opportunities to do otherwise. So
I just love that, and I've met your little brother, and he's such a great young man. And I just think that's so beautiful. And I think it's so just interesting. The two of you, man, y'all pour into the community. It's not just something they talk about. They walk the walk. And I'm just always amazed. I'll see one of you guys pop up, and it's like they're doing this. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I'm impressed with y'all. Very impressed with y'all.
Pretty lucky to have a job where that's our focus. Like our whole in our face is what's going on in the community in Robertson County. How can we help? How can we serve? But we talk about being able to go to school, and a kid has to be in a certain emotional and mental place to even be open and receptive to math and science and all those things. And so when they know that, my mom used to tell me 100 times a day, nobody cares how much you know till they know how much you care. And that's so true with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. If they don't feel support and love, then they can go to school all day long and not learn a thing. And so I often say a lot of our our scores, when we look at schools, really reflects like our emotional state of a lot of these children. And so anyway, I think that's a great opportunity. Along with being a mentor, CASA is having a kickball tournament. It was going to be on Father's Day, but it got rescheduled till I think July 30th is the day. So they're going to do a kickball tournament. Get your teams together, come play kickball, have a lot of fun. CASA is growing leaps and bounds. Their goal is to have a CASA for every kid that's in the system in Robertson County, and they're not there yet. So if you're like, oh, they're doing really good, yeah, they're growing, but they're not there yet. We still have kids in foster care that don't have that, and I love that. That's what CASA does, basically the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, but for any kid that's in foster care in Robertson County. And so that's another awesome opportunity if you want to pour into a child even if you don't have the 10 hours a week to be a CASA, or 10 hours a month, not a week, 10 hours a month to be a CASA, maybe you've got a couple hours on July 30th to come and play kickball.
There you go. And to help bring just attention to that. Yeah. And some of the high schools and stuff, I'm thinking we had some kickball happening at our field day. So maybe, we could get a Greenbrier team together. I know one of the young men that's involved in that lives near me. I may be reaching out to him and saying, hey, what was the story with that? Maybe I can get them to get together. Some of the athletes there, at Greenbrier. So I'll reach out to them. I will just say, maybe I will. I will. I'll reach out to them and say, hey, would you guys want to put together a kickball team for this? And I'll sponsor you or whatever we have to do. I'll let y'all come out to my house and practice or something like that. So, but
a kickball field in your or whatever.
Well, no, we got a yard. We got a yard. You can go out there.
I'm just having to fill the dream visions here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you want to practice kick, you can come to my yard. We'll set you up. We'll let you do that. But what else are we missing? Anything else, guys? Well, I'll tell you what. We need to let's take a quick break. We got our last break we need to do for Veterans Motorplex. I keep showing this magazine because it's so important, because this is a $40 value on the back page. You can find these still around town. I've seen them in a few spots. Not sure if they still have them at the post office. They had them there. They've had them at Home and Jewelers. I know that the central office had a stack of them. We talked to Dr. Causey, and we're nearing the end of Dr. Causey's tenure with our school system. Going to miss you, brother. But the director of schools would put in an article in this, and that's why they have them at the central office. So you can go by and possibly still pick them up there. This is a $40 value. It'll get you and up to 6 kids. It'll get 2 adults and up to 6 kids in for free.
They're thinking of my family when they built something.
They sure did. They sure did. And you can take everybody to the races just with this back page, and this is good throughout the 2023 season. So get your hands on some of these and go to the races, and you're going to fall in love with the races. It's the old Highland Room Speedway. It's what we're talking about. You can follow them on social media by going to Highland Room Speedway. You'll see that the banner has changed. It's Veterans Motorplex. The gates will open at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Racing starts at 6, and it'll go all the way up until about 9 o'clock. And we're talking local race favorites, all kinds of fun things for the kids to do, great concession stand. You're going to have fun if you go to the races. And we're talking Veterans Motorplex. They're located at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. If you have questions for Jerry, give him a call at 615-643-8725, 643-8725. And thank him for sponsoring One Street Over, and tell him U-Turn sent you. Anything we need to cover as we part? Now, who's going to be here next week? Any of you guys? Or okay, well, see, now Lee Marie will be covering next week because I've got to go to Murfreesboro and take some certification classes from my teaching. So I'm going to be heading to Murfreesboro a bunch. I'm going to be out Thursday, Friday next week, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday the next. But Lee Marie is filling in. So you and Lee Marie.
Oh, yeah. I'll be here next week, and then the week after, I won't be here. You'll be here that week?
We'll look at your schedule.
I'm the week in between, though.
Okay, but we're figuring it out. It's summer. I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer. I know we are, but before we know it, we're going to be back to school. I hate to tell you.
We're heading in July, we start July with new partners this year. We're super excited.
Okay.
But one of them is Redemption Ranch, so we get to talk about animals and how they benefit people. I'm super excited about that. But I mentioned last week with Lee Marie that the Redemption Ranch is looking for some hay sponsors. So if you have hay, you know how to get your hands on hay. Reach out to, you can reach out to me. I'll connect you with Hannah Korn. They're doing amazing things out at Redemption Ranch. So, and they're also looking for a grant writer. So if you love writing grants, we'll connect you with Hannah there too. But we also, Isaiah 117 House is one of our new partners. My father's house, which just seems weird that they're our new partner because I feel like they've already been partners for a long time. But they're doing showers and dinners. So if you know of anybody who's looking, I had one of my homeless friends call the other day. He's like, I'm living in my car, but I don't have a place to get clean and I need to go to work. And so, you just don't even think about, especially in this heat, like being able to take a shower,
I can't even imagine.
And cool off. Like, we have a cold weather shelter, but we really, I hope that someday we get to a point with my father's house where we can also have a hot weather shelter.
Well, and they're looking.
It's hot right now.
You bet. Really, and they're working on it. But anything that you've got that's nonprofit related, talk to them at United Way, guys. And tell them where your office is located. Give them your phone number, maybe, since you are on summer hours. We got to wrap it up.
615-780-2511. If your number's not on my phone, I probably won't answer, but just leave a message.
Do your number one more time.
615-780-2511.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Good to see you guys again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And join us tomorrow for Jack Martin will be here for One Street Over. God bless. This is 1100 WSGI.